everybody.
Art party. So happy to see you.
That it's a computer. Just
Hi, June. Hi, Daddy.
Hi, Rachel.
If you don't know where it is, at your bottom left of your screens, you have a video button. We would love if you turned yourself on so we could see you joining us here tonight. You also have a chat button down there, and that's where we're going to be really active, posting comments, questions, links to everyone's websites. And right now we like throwing in where everybody's from so we could see where everybody has come from to the art party. So feel free to throw that in.
oh, I see.
We got Brooklyn and Mahwah, New Jersey, Boston, and California.
Liz, I need to spotlight you. Show us your sweater.
Oh, I love your necklace.
Oh, that's
They
so
look great on you.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Ekologic sweater.
that's a great sweater.
Oh my gosh, the sweater,
Beautiful
yes.
sweater, beautiful necklace.
So
Oh,
my
thanks
goodie.
for wearing it.
Looks great.
I love wearing it.
Everybody. I did this at the first party and I liked it. Seeing it. Is there anybody who is the first timer to Art Party Central? Raise your hand. Liar.
Talking to pop art, not to you, Ellen.
Dad, sorry. Again, for anybody who just came in, there is a video button bottom left of your screen. We would love if you turned yourself on and showed us your face for the party. And there is a chat button down there as well, and you can throw in where you're from. Oh, and we do have somebody here for the first time. Welcome, welcome. So happy to have you. Love that. I'll get started in another couple of seconds. Just making sure I have my timer all set.
Susan. And congratulations to Katie Goodman for getting her vaccination today.
Whoa.
We're
Good.
Oh,
a few steps closer.
Yep, everybody's getting there. It's starting to feel like a promise of good things to come.
I get mine Saturday.
I get mine tomorrow.
My second one Sunday.
That's my first one. April 8th, I get my second one.
Yes.
And we've got Denver and Maryland. Welcome, welcome. All right, so I think I've gone over the chat and the video, and we just want to let you know one technical thing before I make the intros and get us all started, which is that for any reason the party shuts down suddenly, we are going to post a new Zoom link, an updated link at the homepage of our website, which is artpartycentral.org. The most important thing is that .org at the end. And we pick up right where we left off 5 minutes later. So if for any reason we shut down, please visit our website and rejoin us. And now that all that technical stuff is out of the way, and again, before the intros, since it's evening and it's a Thursday night, let's open with a cheers. If you have a glass of something, let's raise it to supporting wonderful arts and artisans at parties. Cheers. Happy
cheers.
Cheers.
So now my co-host is going to mute everyone. Don't be offended. This is simply Zoom protocol.
Karla, unmute yourself. Lordy, lordy.
It was too good to be true that I remembered 3 parties in a row. I apologize. Okay, so now you all know more about me. You got me pegged now. So welcome again. I'm Karla of Karla Gudeon Art and Design, one of the co-founders of Art Party Central, and I have a line of hand watercolored etchings and goods and gifts for the home. And I'm here with my amazing co-host, another Art Party Central founder, Sam Stone from Swan&Stone Millinery, doing the happy art party dance in the background. You can find her in the chat as admin. And if you need help with anything, have any questions you want to pose there, that's the place to do it. And you could find her on her website for these glorious chapeaus at swan&stone.com. So enough about me and ready to start this party. Today, we are joined by 6 super talented artists. We have Kathleen Tesnakis, another Art Party Central co-founder from Ekologic. So you got 3 of us tonight. You have Griffith Evans, Maureen Riley from PoshFELT, Valerie Hector Jewelry, Valerie Hector from Valerie Hector Jewelry, Diane Harty from Diane Harty Millinery, and Suzanne Schwartz from Suzanne Schwartz Jewelry. Let me tell you a little about how this party is going to shake out tonight. Each of the artists is going to give a presentation, and then if time allows, I'm going to ask 1 or 2 questions that we find in the chat or that have been previously submitted. At the end of the party, each of the artists is going to raffle off one $50 gift certificate to each of their websites. So that's 6 chances to win just for hanging with us tonight, but you do have to be present to win. So please stick around. We're also going to give a special gift discount code at the end of the party for which will be good on all the artists' websites, including my websites and my co-host websites, Gudeon.com and Swan&Stone.com. At the end of the party, for those of you that have to go, will understand, but then we also open up the party for chatting, unmuting yourselves, and a real mingle between all of us. So let's get to the fun stuff. Our first artist tonight is Kathleen. Kathleen, take it away.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Art Party Central. I am so happy to be here. For those of you that don't know me, I am passionate about recycling. So passionate, in fact, that I founded my company to be a recycling fashion design company. So here at Ekologic, our specialty is taking post-consumer old cashmere sweaters and rescuing them before they get landfilled or shipped around the world. All the materials that I recycle come from my community in the New York City metro area. I take those sweaters, I harvest them individually, looking for the best quality fibers. Then I bring them to the studio, wash, restore, deconstruct to make fabric, and then begin hand cutting and collaging each piece like a painting. Since we've just had the first day of spring on the 20th, the vernal equinox, I'm obviously really excited to show my spring sweaters and spring colors. One of the things I love about cashmere is that it is a 3-season fiber. So I like to have cashmere that you can wear pretty much all year. The only time I avoid it is when it's 90 degrees or terribly humid. Otherwise, I've always got some with me. So today I am showing you the pepper sweater, which is just so much fun. It has this really incredible accent in the back. I've paired this particular one with a banded skirt in bright colors. And I'm just going to lift it up so you can see it here. The banded skirt is one of my favorite pieces because I'm reusing old garments. I actually harvest all the parts, whether it's a waistband or a wrist or something else, and then I reimagine that. So the skirts are actually made by using all of the waistbands when sweaters actually had waistbands, and I've collaged them together to make the skirts. Since we are about ready to get into our gardens and anticipating beautiful flowers, I've brought this piece for you tonight. This is a one-of-a-kind Veronica sweater. And again, you can see in the work that I do, I really love to look into the fabric to see how the colors will sort of communicate and elevate each other. And that's how I determine what I'm going to build in a particular design. You'll notice on this piece is I have a little neck scarf. These cashmere pieces are something I'm really excited about right now. And I'm just going to show you one. What it is, it's a double layer of cashmere. It's such a nice scarf when you don't want to get all crazy wrapped up. I've done a little accent so you can put it on the side. I've also created this design. So if you do want to wear it in your hair, you can. It's one of those things that I always make sure I have in my bag. So if I do get cold, I can be in a t-shirt, I can have this in my bag and just, you know, make a cute something out of it. So it's really incredibly versatile and actually works. It's a really surprising piece. So the other thing I wanted to show you today is like how I work with all this crazy material. I obviously I can't use fabric off the bolt. I use these tiny little pieces. And so when I'm actually creating a piece, I begin just piling up the fabrics and conceptualizing the elements. This is going to be a couple of dresses that I am making for the Craft Optimism show that's put on by the Smithsonian Women's Club. So I'm really excited about that. So when this comes together, I will make sure to show you again. But I do like to show these conceptual piles so you can imagine the pieces as they come to life. The other, oh, you have questions?
Oh, go ahead. You go ahead. I'll go in a sec.
Yeah. Now, the other piece that I'm wearing for spring is our little cuffs. And you can notice behind me that I have sets put up there. So you can buy them from our website by sets or singly. The one thing that I forgot to talk about tonight, which you have heard me speak of many, many times, we've been working on a new website, and I'm so pleased that that actually launched on Wednesday. And one of the things that I love about it is being an eco-conscious designer, I want you to know how to care for your things. I want you to know how to repair things. And actually, I repair and alter things for you because these are really custom pieces. So if you have shorter arms, longer arms, set a virtual appointment with me, or if you're interested in fit and not sure where to go, I will help you walk through that. So don't feel shy about reaching out, but definitely go check out some of the information on the new website. It's really fun.
Kathleen, what's the most challenging aspect of being a recycling artist and trying for that zero waste?
It's when you've used all of the good colors in the sweaters and you have to create out of what you think is ugly. I actually love that challenge. It is so funny because you'll get to that place and you'll think, there aren't any colors that I want to use right now. And then you find this crazy inspiration happens and you're able to look outside the box. I find that so inspiring. There really aren't ugly colors, it's our perception, but there's sometimes where I can get stuck.
You know, it's very similar with painting. It's like we have to choose our palettes and we want to be brave and we want to go outside our comfort zone. But it seems like a challenge for you at Ecologic is synonymous with some fun too, like brain work, not the bad kind of challenge, the good kind of challenge. Am I right?
Yes. Well, that's sort of the thing I always say. My whole work here is about solving problems. I never have anything that's perfect. The pieces most likely don't fit, and I know that. So I'm always working my way around it. And I love how that pushes creativity.
Pushing creativity is such a great statement. That's terrific, Kathleen. Now, the season's changing. What sweater do you recommend for this change?
Well, I brought them tonight. I have to say, the pepper sweater is phenomenal. You can wear it with like a crisp white shirt underneath it. I've seen them with funky pattern shirts under, and it looks really, really great. Or you can just wear it like I'm wearing it tonight. One of the tips that I have for when you're wearing a light color or you have a shirt underneath it, if you have a little tank top, it'll make it look seamless. So that's a great tip for dealing with lighter colors and like a white button shirt. Just put a little tank on top of it, holds it in. The other thing I would suggest is the Veronica sweater. It is just so beautiful on, and again, it can be worn casually or dress. It's just a great staple.
I like the Veronica, and I also love your tip for holding it in, but I have to tell you, you look beautiful tonight, and that sweater looks like pure sunshine. It just looks like spring on the body. Thank you so much, Kathleen. I'm sure we'll have more for you at the after party, and we're going to turn it over to Griffith.
Hi, happy Thursday, everyone. It's great that you could join us today. My name is Griffith and I live in New Mexico. I build jewelry with locally harvested wood. I steam the wood and then bend it to create curved shapes. I experimented with bending little pieces of wood for a few years, and by 2018, I had a small collection of wood jewelry. And at that point, I began traveling to shows to exhibit the collection. People often describe my work as uncommon or unique. Wood is a very familiar material for most of us, but not so much in the context of jewelry. I've been building this pendant for a while, and it's available in a variety of wood and bead combinations. It's very simple in shape and well proportioned. My mom has a silver ring with a round green stone which spins in its setting. And now I realize that I've incorporated that spinning stone in some of my jewelry. And these pendants have an 18-inch neck wire. It's braided steel with rubber tubing. I'm going to show you a few other options on this piece. I built this in apple wood and walnut wood, as well as sycamore and gray sycamore. And then I have a variety of complementary beads. These are porcelain beads. I roll them by hand. About a year after I designed the pendant necklace, I began thinking about earrings in that same shape. And I call this the platelet earring. And as you can see, it's available in several different combinations as well. The platelets are an inch tall, and it's a post style. It's fastened with a big comfy rubber clutch on the back. I realized very early on that we don't all have the same size wrist, and that many people would appreciate a selection of cuff bracelets if they were available in a variety of sizes. So I build cuffs in these 5 sizes, and almost everyone fits somewhere in the range. I've got a selection of my production pieces on display here. And I build all of these designs in the 5 sizes. On my website at griffithevans.com, you can see a selection of these models in a wide variety of wood and bead combinations. And I do individual Zoom consultations if you want to see things in more detail. Also on the website, I've got a video which explains how to order the right size. This is the abacus cuff, and it's another example of this spinning bead motif. I'm just going to put the camera back up here. I call these the hoop earrings. And it's a distinctive shape, stands off your earlobe at an interesting angle, and it's so light. Some of these accents are handmade porcelain, and some of them are Swarovski crystal pearls. Another thing I'd like to show you today is this. It's actually a collaboration between Christine and I. This is a porcelain medallion which she sculpts, and then I mount them in wood bezels. And we have a little collection of 5 face designs in this series.
Griffith, could you bring one of those closer so we could see the detail in that?
Sure. This is the smiling mouth.
It's funny, it made me smile. I think it has such a great sense of humor to it. It's adorable.
Yeah, Yeah,
And it's beautifully crafted, but they have a humor and they make you smile.
yeah, thank you. And these are on 18-inch sterling chains. You have any questions for me, Karla?
Of course I do. So
You
you
do.
use locally harvested woods. When you say locally harvested, what does that mean? Where do you get them?
Well, a variety of places, but my neighbor actually has an orchard on some family property near Santa Fe, and that's where I get most of the fruit woods and nut woods that I use. They grew walnut and apple and apricot and peach trees, and they allow me to harvest some of their declining trees. Another source was more by happenstance. I was walking down the street and some guy offered me some sycamore wood. He was cutting a tree in his yard. So, I just kind of keep my nose to the ground and something always turns up. So.
That happens to me on the Upper West Side all the time. People just offer me wood from their
Yeah.
apricot.
I heard about that. Yeah, it's a common.
Say it so
common
casually,
situation.
but it's so remarkable. It's actually such a wonderful thing that you have access to that.
I really enjoy that sense of, using a found material, a found object.
What are some of the other benefits of using a locally harvested wood?
Well, one of the biggest things is that I get to control the way that I cut the wood. And that means that I can expose the grain in different patterns or colors. And another thing is that because it's not been dried and processed in a kiln, often the colors are more vibrant, and I get to use parts of the tree that just aren't commercially viable, like the knots and the crotch wood where the branches come off. And those often have the more interesting figure and some of the more striking colors.
So you're looking for character in the wood, right?
Yeah, exactly. And because I work so small, I don't need a huge section of it to make a really striking piece.
Maybe if there's time at the after party, like between now and then, you could find something that has a particular knot or a coloration that we might not see elsewhere that you could show us. I think that would be so exciting. Can you show us the necklace that's behind you? I know you call it the cornucopia because I love it so much.
Yes. So this started as a 6-foot strip of walnut wood, and I just steam it and I bend it, coil it around itself, and then it's got hand rolled porcelain beads. It's another one of these fidget spinners. Such a recurring theme in my work. I honestly didn't realize it at first, but I think this all goes back to that ring that my mom had. I used to play with it, hold her hand and spin the stone around.
And look at how that
By the
model
way,
just
hi, everybody.
out of nowhere.
Come in.
Christine makes the beautiful porcelain that's in those other pieces. She's our sculptor. I thank you so much, Griffith. I can't wait to get back to you at the after party. This was a terrific presentation. And we are going to keep going in that spring color theme and bring it over to Maureen.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to my studio here in Jamestown, Rhode Island. I just wanted to let you know that I do live on an island in Rhode Island. And the last show, we had some technical difficulties, so hopefully I have cured that for this show. I'm thrilled to be here tonight, and I'm super excited to show you some of my new work. At the last party, I introduced the casual crossbody, and I only had one color made because the fabric had come the night before the show, but I was able to get one bag. So I do want to show you some new colors. I am wearing right now the orange and gray. All the bags do have the base gray and then the pop of color. So they have this great big pocket on the front, and also a large pocket on the back with a silver edge detail. It's my signature on all my pockets. And what's fun is that these rivets on the side They are part of construction, but also design, just to give it a little bling, a little added bling to the side of the bag, which is always sometimes forgotten. And that detail continues through the bottom. And once again, this is a great closure. It's called a kiss lock closure. So when you're wearing it on your body, it's easily accessible just by twisting these two knobs, and then it shuts perfectly closed when you put the two knobs together. So once again, this is the gray with the mandarin orange. And then we have some pops of color. This is the bag that I showed last week. It's got the yellow and the gray. And then I don't know if you can see this, but maybe I can adjust. I'm using a different camera tonight. So here we have the marine blue and this really great acid green. So I'm all about color this year, and also just using really fun, unique hardware in my bags. That's kind of my signature thing. So along with the crossbody, I also have a small bucket crossbody bag for those of you who are very minimalist and they're only carrying a few things. So I'll show you one now. And this is, they're all made out of vegan leather. And I'm really excited about this material. I just started using it. I introduced it last November and December. And I just kept moving forward with this material because what I love about it is the colors. I can bring in new shades of fun colors in my collections using this material. It's soft, it's eco-friendly, and it wears really well. And if you spill something on it, it's super easy to clean. So taking this one step further, my designs for these bags, I can also use different construction and cutting techniques, and which allows me to use different hardware. So these are all new for PoshFELT for 2021, 2020 and 2021. Which I'm really thrilled about. So this is the bucket crossbody bag as well, and it's very minimalistic, but it's got a really nice depth to it, 4.5 inches. So you can fit more than just your cell phone. There's a cell phone pocket on the back and a pocket for your mask in the front. And then once again, the kiss lock closure. It's a little different. This is more of a flat closure. And then what's nice about my bags is that you can always open them all the way up to see all the contents in your bags. So I'm really thrilled.
That it looks like it holds a lot. And I know you've told us before how much that could hold, and we're always impressed.
Yeah, it's because I'm starting to use different construction techniques, as I just mentioned, but I'm able to put the pockets on the outside, leaving like prime real estate on the inside of the bag. So believe it or not, you fit a lot in these small bags.
When you phrase that prime real estate, would a mini iPad fit in the mini crossbody?
I wouldn't know that. This crossbody, I don't have a mini. I would have to get that dimension. Oh, 4.5 by 4.5 by. Yeah, definitely. Oh yeah, because it's 4.5 inches deep and 4.5 inches wide.
I think that's the dimensions of your bag. I think that wasn't the dimensions of the mini iPad. I think.
Oh yes. So I would just need the dimensions of that. Yeah, that is my bag. Thanks for giving that to me.
I'll give it to you.
I appreciate that.
For people who don't take anything out other than black, who haven't gotten over their maybe their New York City in the 90s, phase, do you have black bags?
I do. It's my take on black though. I am introducing what's called a carbon. So it's a charcoal gray with a black base. So
You have something
to show you.
Yeah.
So this is a sporty clutch, and the mechanism is super easy to open. You just pull it outward, and then the bag stays open. You can grab whatever's inside, and then when you're ready to close it, you close it like that, and then you hold it and you go. So
Does it make a snap noise when you close it?
Did you hear the snap?
I want to hear it. I love that noise.
All right. Yeah. You hear it?
Very happy. I just
Sometimes
that made my
therapy,
head.
which, definitely you could do that all day in a meeting if, it's therapy to me sometimes. So this is the sporty clutch. Also, I have it in the new casual crossbody. So you can see how it really is striking against the gray bag with the carbon accents. Can you see that better in this light? So that's my take on black.
And you know
It's
what?
more of a carbon.
You said it's your therapy. It makes perfect sense to me that a pocketbook is therapy. Like I could see PoshFELT bags, their handbags and their therapy all at once. Quick question. Are you doing the totes in the vegan leather?
I'm thrilled that you asked me that question. Actually, I am. I'm designing a brand new bag, which is larger in the vegan leather, but it's going to have a totally different closure than my felt tote. So stay tuned because the first pattern's been made and now I'm test driving it. So for those of you who know me, I always wear my bags and carry them through different kinds of weather scenarios and make sure they hold up to the task.
You get your bags trial runs and you vet your bags. And for those of us that have followed you on Art Party, we know you are true to your word. If you say something's coming, it's coming. And we're so honored to get all your and all your ideas.
I love it. It's a great venue to showcase some
This
new
is
design.
a great presentation. And in case you were wondering, we saw you clearly, heard you clearly, and see your bags.
Oh, fantastic.
So that is great. I will see you more at the after party. And we're going to move it on to amazing Valerie Hector that I am modeling this evening.
Thank you,
Hi,
everybody.
everybody. Thank you very much, Karla, and thank you for wearing my necklace. I'm just delighted that you're wearing it. I know we traded quite a while ago. I live in Evanston, Illinois, and I have been living here quite a while and making beaded jewelry for quite a while. I use a variety of techniques and a variety of beads. These are Japanese glass and metal beads in this necklace. Is that a good length, a good position, Karla, for me to hold this?
It is. Yep. And even a little further back, you could hold it back towards you just. Yep. There you go. Up. Yes.
And here is the clasp. It's magnetic. And speaking of, nice little sounds, very easy to put on, very simple, but very elegant. And with this piece, all of the colors rotate as you wear it. So it's a very elegant piece for probably dressy. It's definitely on the dressy side, but I love it. And speaking of dressy, even dressier, is this piece, this necklace. I'll try it on first, and I'll hold it up closer to the camera. This is kind of a choker length. It's a chain necklace. I did invent this technique after a lot of trial and error, enormous amount of trial and error. The dark beads are sterling silver, and the lighter beads are 14 karat gold. They're stitched together, one link at a time. And I did custom make this clasp too. It's magnetic. It's incredibly easy to wear. I also once in a while use 14 karat gold without the silver to make earrings. So here's a pair of 14 karat gold sphere earrings on 14 karat gold lever backs. These are also very easy to wear and incredibly lightweight. I do like lightweight pieces, but every once in a while I will make a very large piece. This is a large collar, another statement piece. I call it the cantilevered Alhambra, that the segments overlap one another in a kind of a cantilevered way. It's heavy, but it's not as heavy as it looks. It's also reversible. So this side is lime green, and this side is kind of a periwinkle blue, a peacock blue, depends what you'd like to call it. Incredibly fast and easy to put on, and as versatile as I can make it. I also lately have begun making more of these charm on a chain necklaces, or droplet necklaces, I call them sometimes. These are check glass beads stitched into structures and suspended from a sterling silver chain. And these I have used more traditional lobster clasps. Pretty easy to use. You know, you don't need a valet to get these on. That's my standard is, do you need help to get a piece on? And I like to make pieces where you don't need help to get it on. Just yesterday, I finished these earrings. I don't usually go this large for earrings, but I just thought, why not? And all of my doubts were allayed today when someone bought them. I put them on the website, and within a few hours, they were ordered by someone. It's just one of a kind. It's fun.
Perfect size. I can't imagine anything more perfect. I would love to go out day or night in something that size.
Thank you, Karla. So that encourages me to make more in this scale, and I will. Here's a classic necklace I've sold for many years. I call it the Lotus necklace. It's entirely made of sterling silver beads. The clasp, this is also a custom magnetic clasp that I came up with a while back, and it goes on so quickly and easily. And this is very lightweight. This is a choker length. I do make them much longer. The nice thing about this is that I have polished one side, which I think you can see it's kind of bright-ish, and the other side is dark. So a very different effect on the other side. And this again, it approaches being two necklaces in one. Little sterling silver earrings to go with this, or diamond studs. You don't need anything too fancy. What else can I show you? A few years ago, sorry?
I said, yes, I love that one. That was
A
just
few years ago, I started using wood beads. Yeah, Karla, you love this necklace. It just shows me you have very good taste. I started dyeing my own wood beads, and it's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of trial and error, but I don't mind trial and error because if I know if I keep at it long enough, I'll get the right solution. So I also invented the technique by accident of stitching them together. And this is incredibly lightweight and impactful. The clasp is magnetic. So this would be for a party, an event, you know, a gallery opening, an evening, a dinner, something like that. You know, not all necklaces can be everyday necklaces. It's fun to have some statement pieces. And then recently I started dyeing these smaller wooden beads and making simpler everyday versions of the necklaces, which I love. I love this scarlet color, and I have accented these necklaces with Middle Eastern prayer beads. The little black bead here is made of wood, and the wood is inlaid with some kind of white metal. I don't think it's sterling silver, but I did give it some thought before I incorporated these Middle Eastern prayer beads because I wanted to be respectful of a tradition that is not my own. And also I was concerned that maybe, you know, they wouldn't feel right in our culture. It turns out that they do feel right because people have been liking them. So I'm really glad I started making them. And as you see that
with reverence, it's important to embrace other cultures, and your jewelry really does that. It celebrates, it doesn't offend in any way. And what
thank you so much.
You're showing is that one of those necklaces I would think would be a powerful statement on its own, but just look at you, Valerie, look at your stack. It's so great. You know, all worn together, and it doesn't look like too much. It just has this incredibly cool vibe.
Thank you. My sentiments exactly.
I have
Do you have some questions?
You're showing us that show on both sides, you know, that have two different colors. Do you see hints of the other color no matter what side you're wearing it on, or you don't see?
No, I don't think that you do, you know. Do you mean this necklace?
Yeah.
I don't think that you do when you're wearing it. No, you don't see what's underneath. And I think that's part of the magic. That's also part of how I designed it so that you wouldn't see what's underneath. I wanted this effect to be just green, just green.
Such a genius designer. And your newest necklaces, what would those be?
Oh, let me see. Let me look here. Probably the ones that I'm wearing. These lariats on very substantial, luscious sterling silver chains with sterling silver elements at the bottom. And these are fun to wear casually, and they're not that dressy. And you just tie it once and let the elements hang down however they want to. I have little clips if you're worried.
Pass it on, but I definitely want to talk to you more at the after party. I love how one of the elements on there reminds me of a honeycomb, and especially with everybody's concerns for the bees these days. I think that's such a great thing to evoke. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you.
We are going to move it on to a first-time Art Party Central presenter. We have Diane. Diane, take it away.
All right, I will. Everybody can hear me. Hello, I'm up in the mountains in Colorado, up in ski country, and I have been making hats for over 25 years, I think. And I'll just go over a little bit about how I make them, because it's kind of the unusual part of it. And I'll show you some of my new spring hats that I've been making. But this is a sample of some of my materials. And they're straw braids of different widths and fibers, some paper, some raffia, some hemp, some synthetics and blends. And there's just so many combinations of colors and things. And then this is a sample of the machine that I would be using. It's an antique sewing machine. It's a chain stitch. And if you can see the hat that's starting, and this is the strand that I'm building it into. And I've been using the same technique for all these years because I just love it. It feels like each piece is a sculpture to me because I'm shaping it as I go. I start from the center and build it out. And then I can do all kinds of different finishing and different combinations of colors, cutting in different colors of braid. And so I will just show you some of the hats. I go anything from basic, like a cap, to a cloche, to a nice big sun hat, to fancy cocktail hats, everything in that range. But this, because spring is here and I think people want to be outside a lot, I've kind of concentrated on a bunch of sun hats. And I do something a little bit unusual on each one, and it varies a little bit. And this is my Lily Bart, which is from Edith Wharton's House of Mirth, when it has the sun hat with a little accent piece to it. And this is a Georgiana, which has it almost looks like cutouts, although that's not quite how I do it. It just adds just a little bit of something to it. And this, I really love this shape. It's, I've taken a long piece that I've sewn and then flipped it back and stitched it all around. And this kind of little lift to it adds a lot to the hat itself, even though it's a really simple addition style. And a lot of my brims, you can move them up and down. They're flexible. And I feel like these are really casual, everyday sun hats you could wear.
They seem super wearable, and I'm just fascinated by the way it changes your face every time you put one on.
Every shape, like the height of the crown and the width of the brim and the combination of all that, it changes. It's fun in my booth because when I'm at an art show, because I can watch all these people try hats on, and it just changes, their expression changes. It's really interesting. And I do, this is one of my dressier hats too, that's made out of a tubular braid from Switzerland. And it has a shorter back to it, so it doesn't get hit in the back. It's a little dressier because the braid has a shine to it.
Your fixings. Oh.
And this is my social distancer. And I have it in black and another turquoise. And I've done it in a really beautiful dark purple too. I did this in the spring.
It's kind of like you want to be with me, but stay away from me at the same time. It's fantabulous.
Oh, and this is and I named a lot of them after characters in literature. And this is my Clarissa from the Virginia Woolf. This is Mrs. Dalloway. This is a super light braid that I've sewn a tubing in the edge to get the structure for this extra pieces have a plastic woven or stitched in there.
Now that is such a statement hat. That would just plain black dress, wear that. I'm at my son's wedding, done. I love it.
And then I have cocktail hats that I do, all different kinds of cocktail hats, but I haven't been focusing on them as much this year just because I don't think people are going to their events as much, but I have had a couple people, my regulars, buy them for their vaccine shots to go to the hospital and get a shot with a fancy hat on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Zoom. I mean, what a great thing to wear to a Zoom to make people feel happy. And
Yeah.
it's terrific. Do you use, I know we've learned a little about hat making. Do you use forms or hat blocks to make your hats?
I don't, which is kind of the unusual thing about my hats is that I don't have any blocks. I'm pulling and pushing as it's building on the sewing machine to get the shapes. Like I'll get this curve by pulling and pushing with my hands, and it's taken a lot of practice to get really good at it. And when I switch out different braids, each braid behaves a little differently because of its stiffness or how wide it is. So I usually work with one braid for a couple days just because my hands are already kind of used to how to manipulate it.
So you're molding with your hands? You're actually forming things?
Yeah, I'm getting the different shapes.
And I know you said one of the braids comes from Switzerland. Where do you get more? Are your braids mainly from one place or another? Where do you get your braids?
They're from there's really only two places I've discovered that make the braid, and that's Taiwan and Switzerland.
Huh.
In Swiss, I get more of the synthetics and the shinier stuff, but they also have a beautiful raffia, like the Clarissa, the black and white tweed was Swiss raffia braid, which is a natural fiber. And then the paper line and some of the other hemp is more of a Taiwanese braid, which I really like to work with because I like natural fiber too.
Have you ever seen the braid being braided?
I haven't. I've seen pictures of the machine. It's really complicated. It's all these strands come down and go into a center area, and they get woven together there. It's this really ancient looking equipment.
That's fantastic. Could you try on the one that's behind you that's similar to the one you're wearing in the more neutrals?
With the copper leaf?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of a coppery color. It's really beautiful. It's a little less of a pop to it, but it's very.
I think it has plenty of pop. I think
it has pop. I guess it's just not the color. It's more sedate.
Yeah, but I would think it would also, that one is kind of fun because you could be like a quieter, shyer person and wear it because of the colors, but it can make you feel more outward and more there and more confident when you put something like that on.
Yeah, and I'd like to think of my hats as being wearable and super easy to put on, but also distinctive, you know.
And somebody asked how the hats are sized.
I have a chart on my website that I figured out, and it's been tricky over the last year. I've been learning a lot about that, but if people measure around the head, right where the hat band would sit, and measure around, you can use something that doesn't stretch and then lay it against a yardstick, but you could also use a tape measure if you have one. And you measure it to the 1/4 inch. It's usually between 21 to 24 inches in there. And then
Would you do a Zoom consult or a FaceTime consult with something?
I could start doing that. I haven't done it yet. This is my first venture on live Zoom. So I guess I've FaceTime with a couple customers before about it.
Yeah, because I think our customers are used to that and they would love meeting with you and going over head size and measuring in front of you and trying on.
Yeah, actually, I think I'm going to start suggesting that because it would be helpful.
That's great. And can we see the one that's to your side? That just to your side, I think. I can't. I have a total left-right deficit. There you go. The one up there. Yep.
Kind of like the Clarissa, but it's more just on the side. And I didn't put the solid color underneath on the edging, so it's all tweed, which makes it, I think, a little less dressy.
I was just gonna say that's the perfect like summer garden party hat, or
Yeah.
you know,
It's so incredibly light. I love this braid.
Oh, that's fantastic. Thank you for presenting with us. I know we're going to get back to you again at the after party. This was such a joy. And I couldn't be more thrilled. And can we move it over to Suzanne?
Hi, I'm Suzanne of Suzanne Schwartz Jewelry. And I think the most distinctive thing about my jewelry is that I stitch with fine silver and 22 karat gold into the jewelry. What I'm wearing right now is the pearls, but I'm going to just show you some of the stitching. So in this piece, I think you can see it really well. This is more of a statement piece, and this is stitched, it's argentium silver, which is a highly tarnish resistant silver. And it's stitched with 22 karat gold. So I'll drill the little holes and then I'll sew it through with fine silver. And then this one has a moonstone set in. And then just to show you the back as well, I really feel that the back, you know, should be just as pretty as the front of it. So that's some of the stitching in the gold. And then, you know, some of my other stitching. So this is kind of a signature piece of mine, another kind of more complex piece. And this is oxidized silver stitched with fine silver. And this piece I also do in all bright silver that someone was wearing earlier. And this piece has about 22 feet of fine silver in it. But what's nice about the fine silver is that it really keeps its color. Between that and the argentium, it's really, you know, there's very little cleaning with it because they both keep their color. And to show you the fine silver that I use, this is the thinner fine silver. So this is the thickness of the silver that's in this piece. And then also in the gold piece that I just showed you, but in some pieces I'll use a little thicker bit of the silver. And then just to show you, since that's my signature piece, I also have earrings. This is the smaller one. I'm a big earring wearer, large earring wearer. So here are the earrings that are like the necklace. And all of these pieces that I do the stitching with, a lot of them have patterns. I'll say that this one does not. These are, this is the freeform bracelet, and these don't have a pattern. These I will drill the holes and then I'll, you know, stitch it as I go. And I'm very conscious of what, you know, where I'm placing each hole. Where I'm putting the fine silver into each hole. You know, I'll even, you know, completely rip it out if I don't like how the pattern's turning out. And then kind of a simpler stitch. So those are more complex stitches. And then I'd say this is kind of let me just try to get the glare off of it. There we go. This is a gold circle and an oxidized circle, and these have one stitch in them. So, you know, that's it, very simplified. And what's nice about this earring, as with a whole bunch of other ones, is you can take the bottom off and just, you know, wear it alone. You could even just, you know, put this on a chain or so.
I love how controlled sometimes you are, and then how wild you are. Like the cuffs with the random design remind me of a Jackson Pollock painting in a really cool way.
Oh, really? That's funny.
Love to wear them stacked, right? You can wear both of them together.
Yes, yeah, those you can. And then, you know, another bracelet that I'm wearing is this one is made of all these little squares that I make. So here is one of the little squares. Let's see if you can see it. It's a little hard to see. It's just this square that I make, and then I drill, you know, 2 holes through it, and I will then stitch it. You can see this one kind of, I stitch lightly, but when I'm stitching, I really pull this very tight so that it won't slump down with pressure, and it's a very strong piece, and it's a real balance between pulling too tight and not pulling tight enough. So, you know, this bracelet has about 50 little, maybe 40, 42 actually, little squares in gold, silver, and oxidized silver.
Like
and
a
this is,
ruffle.
yeah, and then that's the river cuff.
I love the river cuff, and it's like the rock at the edges of a river or a ruffle. Really, it's evocative of so many things. It's really
How am I doing on time? Can I show some pearl pieces?
Sure, show some pearl pieces.
Okay.
You don't get
So
Get questions at the after party.
Okay. So I am wearing, this is a long pearl earring with 22 karat gold that I grind up and fuse onto the silver and then oxidize with Tahitian pearls, as is this necklace. So this is adjustable in length, and you can see you have 7 strands and 7 separate Tahitian pearls with 22 karat gold, and then the adjustability. So that's one of my pearl pieces. And then you can also go a lot simpler with a Tahitian pearl, with just one piece. I'm trying to see if you can see that. And this has the fused gold on it as well. I also do, I don't have it, a 5 pearl white. These are Chinese freshwater Baroque pearls. This is one of my, like a piece from this old pearl collection that someone found for me. And this is a single pearl. I love this necklace. I find it really elegant. And I have a long version of this one as well. And then I also have a 5 pearl necklace with the white pearls.
Would you
So
wear that one with the long one?
I'm probably a little more simple. But yeah, actually you could. That'd be really nice. And then a 3rd one right in the middle, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think that would be
I
fun.
like that idea, Karla.
Good. I love that.
Thank you. I think I have to do that.
Show us a couple
So,
more pearls and we'll come back to the stitch stuff at the after party.
okay, sounds great. Wait, what'd you say?
Show us a few more pearl things.
Okay, sorry. You said you're done.
But
So I'll show you my kind of you know, a little more, I forgot how Karla described it, but this is a piece, not for everyone. But this is kind of like just kind of a soft piece with, you know, it's a choker with the 5 pearls that are hanging, and you can make this, you know, you can select the pearls that you would like to for really any of my necklaces. I brought, you know, some of the pearl pairs here. That this is the last grouping that I just got in, and just really beautiful luster. You know, they put them together in pairs, but I like them to be very, very matchy. So sometimes I'll change them because I think they're better matches.
are out of time, but I love the idea that you could choose your own pearls. And did you say that necklace is yours or?
Yeah, this one is mine, but I make it with other pearls. Me and my daughter like picked these pearls and made it together. These were some of my first pearls.
I love the rough edge of the choker with this soft feminine pearls. It's such a great thing. Suzanne, thank you so much for presenting with us again tonight. We loved it. It was really terrific. So I want to thank all our artists for sharing their stories and their incredible work. I am so proud to be with Art Party Central and to have this forum for these amazing talents to be before you. And every time I watch, I learn something new and I'm bowled over and inspired. And we want to thank all of you for coming to the party as well. You inspire us. You give us a reason to do what we do. You are supporting us at crazy times. We just could not be more grateful. And so before I pull the raffle prizes, I wanted to let you know that that means the world to us. And also, if you want to continue to help and you've enjoyed tonight, please, if you haven't yet invited your friends to party with you at an art party, bring your friends to the party. Let's continue to grow this platform. And then all of us like hearing from you in the form of likes, follows, and shares and comments on our social media, as well as following our newsletters, as well as emails and these Zoom and these FaceTimes we're enjoying so much. So please continue to do what you're already doing, and please know it's appreciated. So now let's celebrate and pull our 6 $50 prize winners for the evening. I invite you all to unmute and help me cheer the winners along. So that's your bottom left. Please unmute so I'm not the only woohooer in the crowd. So our first prize winner tonight, very important, thank you, is if you are a winner, please put your email into the chat. You can also email it privately to myself or admin. Swan&Stone, Sam Stone is there to take your emails, especially if your Zoom is different than the name you RSVP'd with. We'd have no way of knowing who to send your gift certificate to without that. So we can't emphasize enough, put your email in the chat if you are one of the lucky winners. So our first winner tonight for Ecologic is Betty Patton. Yay!
Yay! Hey, buddy!
Yay! Second winner tonight for Griffith Evans is Susan Fong. Congratulations. We felt that blue hair the winner today. Love it. And our winner for PoshFELT is one name, LaDonna. LaDonna. And for Valerie, yay, we have a dancer winner. I love you. Valerie Hector, our winner is Leslie Flaherty is the winner for Valerie Hector. Yay!
Yay!
For Diane Harty, our winner is Katie Goodman. Congratulations, Katie. It's the first time or that's and for Suzanne Schwartz, our winner tonight, our last winner is Graciela. Congratulations.
I'm going to put those names in the chat. I think we have some feedback, so I just want to remind everyone if you have two devices, please either turn one off or come back in without any sound. And also, if there's any background noise, go ahead and remute yourself. Just mute yourself because it's hard to hear yourself. All good?
All good. Okay, and because we want everyone to leave, see how seamless that was? Because we want everyone to leave feeling like they are a winner tonight, you will all receive a coupon for 10% off all 6 of the makers' websites, as well as my website, KarlaGudeon.com, and my co-host, my admin, Swan&Stone.com. The coupon will be good for today through March 31st. So please head over to our websites and do yourself some fun shopping and get yourself and maybe some friends some gifts, but yourself is what I'm thinking about. The code for today's party is MAR25 Art Party. MAR25 Art Party. That'll be in the chat, but you're also going to get a follow-up email that will include not only the coupon code, but direct links to the websites for everybody at today's party. We have one more day of parties this week on Saturday that features some new and returning artists that will feature Shepherd's Run Jewelry, Steel Pony, Crystal Kodada, Emily Schaefer Studio, PoshFELT, and Griffith Evans, and you can RSVP at artpartycentral.org. We're also super duper excited to be offering our workshop for everyone called Presenting Yourself Virtually. Now, this is not necessarily for artists. This is for everyone. Even if you just want to feel better about yourself on a family Zoom, this is the workshop for you. We're doing this at April 9th at 5:15 Eastern Standard Time. It's open to everyone and it's going to focus on looking your virtual best and learning how to be confident and comfortable on video, as we've all learned more about in these months. We'll be sending everyone an email with the details and an Eventbrite sign-up link. The cost is $25 for the hour-long workshop. I want to give my co-host a big shout out. Thank you, Sam Stone, for helping us today. You may not have seen her, but she was in the background, popping those links into the chat, making sure everything was running smoothly. And you could find her and her amazing hats at swanandstone.com. So once again, I just want to thank you all for being here, for your support and telling you that you mean the world to us. We miss seeing you in person, but we are so thrilled to have this platform in which to stay connected. We know you're busy, so for those of you that have to leave, we understand. But for those of you that would like to stay and hang out a little longer and ask questions, we're inviting you to unmute yourself and chat. So here we go. Unmute. If you have a question, you can be the first. Just put it out there right now. We're happy to hear from you. And if not,
Great night. Thank you.
Thank you.
Karla, can I ask Griffith Evans? I think that he has a pair of earrings that he made for me that I would really love to see. This is June.
Hi, June. Yes, I do have those earrings. Let me change my camera here.
this is a real show and tell. I love it.
Here we go. Yeah.
Oh,
Look at that. Oh, those are so,
oh, that's so cool.
wow.
I call this the swoop earring, and this is the sycamore wood. And Karla, you were asking about interesting woods earlier, and this is one of my favorite ones because it's just got this crazy, almost like an animal skin pattern to it.
Ah.
And that's all natural. That's just in the wood itself.
Oh, that is fantastic. June, you're going to look smashing in them. Oh, that's great.
They're fabulous. Thank you. Thank you.
Congratulations. What a great purchase. Oh, thank you so much. And let's see, any other questions for Griffith? Your cuffs, are they made out of a solid piece of wood?
No, actually, it's I start off with a straight piece of wood and then I steam it and bend it as opposed to carving a curved shape out of a single piece. So for instance, each cuff like this is actually two thin pieces laminated together. You can't see a seam here, but it is in fact two pieces. And I find that that's a much stronger construction method because the grain, the long part of the grain goes around the whole thing as opposed to just being cut at the edges.
That is cool. Thank you so much for sharing. Anybody else have any questions? Or Sam, was there anything in the chat?
There was something in the chat for Kathleen, and of course, I wanted to know as well. So can you tell us a little bit about the ruffle in your skirt? What makes that ruffle happen? The person who asked the question was wondering if maybe there's a little bit of felting involved, or how does that ruffle happen? Tell us.
No, actually, the ruffle is very interesting. I'm going to run away and come back, if that's okay. Hang on a second. I'm going to grab the material. Oh, wait a second. This is when you get the real view of things. Here are the ribs. So I can actually show you this. This fabric is actually ribbed. So its natural inclination is to ruffle a little bit. And I don't even employ it a lot. I'm actually, when I do these skirts, I try to control the ruffle a little bit so it's not over the top, sort of flouncy and fluttery. So what you see on the skirt is a controlled effect to actually prevent the ruffle. Because one thing with cashmere is its natural inclination is to go all over the place. It's actually very challenging to get some of these very clean seams and tight edges that I achieve in the designs. And that is because I really love controlling fabric. That's half of the fun for me, is how I marry the machine and the material and sort of coax the material to do what I want it to do, as opposed to what it wants to do. But naturally, this stuff would go crazy.
Oh, that's fantastic. And I was trying to show my skirt, which I love, and it's ribbed and it's fabulous and it makes me feel good, all good.
This is before it becomes a skirt, you see. This is what I am choosing before it becomes something.
Peek in the back room. Fantastic. Sam, anything else from the chat for anybody?
No, I think we actually, you actually covered, there were various questions, and I think
I have a couple more that came. I have a couple more from before the party that were submitted, which is, for Maureen, how do you clean your bags? You mentioned they were easy to clean, but now we're curious, how do you clean them?
Literally with soap and water. And if you spill something with the vegan leather, which it's what's really nice is that you could just wipe it right off. But coffee, I would definitely use a little bit of light detergent. Like I've spilled coffee on my wool bags and I just reached the Dawn because normally I spill the coffee and
Dawn is a miracle substance, isn't it?
Dawn actually works for me. Cold water and just wipe it off and you're good to go.
Somebody asked, what is vegan leather made out of?
Oh, I'm glad you asked that. It's made out of, I found this really quite interesting. It's made out of post-consumer materials. Some use apple peel, some use eucalyptus, some use recycled plastic bottles. So it's not only a really cool fabric to work with, but it's also eco-friendly.
Oh, that's fantastic. I love that it's post-consumer waste. I mean, this is
So
there's such a great tie-in in your colors and your product to Ecologic. What a lovely pairing tonight.
I know. I love being doing shows with Kathleen because our colors are very similar. Yeah, it's quite nice to see.
The same way.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I guess I'm loving color more and more. You know, so I have a lot of it now. So,
and
thanks for asking.
Valerie, this is kind of a funny question, but it might be my favorite question of the night because I imagine it to be true. Do you dream about beads? Wait, muted, Val.
There we go. How's that?
Perfect.
Does that work? Okay. The answer is yes. I have been dreaming about beads for years. I get these very special dreams. They don't come often. I wish they would come more often. Obviously, I don't control when they come. But in all of these dreams, the same kind of thing happens. I'll be in some country, probably at an antique shop or at a flea market or a bazaar. And all of a sudden, my eyes will see this most amazing piece of beadwork that is historically incredibly rare, never been documented. And it's in an amazing technique. And I really want to buy it. But I think to myself, nah, can you afford that? And I think, oh no, I've got to look at the price tag. So I look at the price tag and the price is always less than I could ever have imagined. And of course, I buy the piece, I bring it home. Once in a great while, the dream will continue. I'll be in the studio. I'll have the piece set on the table before me, and I will be deconstructing the technique, not cutting apart the piece, just trying to reverse engineer the technique so I can use it, so I can incorporate it in my own work. So yes, I do dream about beads.
And I believe that is contagious because I think there are a lot of people that saw your presentation tonight that'll be dreaming about beads.
Good, I love it. Thank you.
Fantastic. And Diane, there's a question about what, have you used the braided material to make anything else? But while you're answering it, there was a hat that you showed us earlier that was just a fantastical sculpture. It was black and white and you tried it on for us and it was, I'd love for everyone to see that.
Was it this one? This kind of crazy?
Yes, it was.
These, I do sell these. They don't sell as much as other more practical hats, but yeah, and this is a great synthetic braid that holds up really well. It has a nice stiffness to it and it's super light.
That's like a Met Gala thing. That's fantastic.
And I do the in and out shape, kind of like, this is another one that kind of has a little bit of that in and out shape, which I do by pulling on the braid.
Yes.
Yeah, and this is another one that's kind of got that kind of in and out shape too, that's more of a brimmed hat. So it has this middle piece that you can move around. And I call this one the Molly Bloom from Ulysses.
They're fantastical. They're like lyrical. They tell little stories in a sense.
Yeah. So pretty. Yeah.
I love that. Oh, that's great. Thank you. And what about the question about using the braided material for anything else?
I've tried to make baskets and I've wanted to make bags, but I just haven't had the time and the focus. My daughter's in college now, so maybe I will have more time once I get on a regular schedule. But I've been just really enjoying, there's never ending color combinations with a hat and never ending shapes, and they're all feel like one of a kind. So I just don't feel.
No, I think you're doing great with what you're doing. You have a hat called, there's a hat, the question in the chat about a Cosette hat.
Oh yeah. Those are kind of, I've named them that after the character in Les Mis because it's a Breton brim, which is, I'd have to get one from, I think I have one here. It's where it turns up. I can go grab one.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah.
Because that's something in the chat.
I love what Liz said. She was saying that here in New York City, folks who are being tired of being cooped up are dressing up in the craziest outfits. Like, I mean, I miss being in New York City. So I can't wait to see that.
Oh, look at that fantastic thing. Oh, that's
just a classic shape. There's not a lot of unevenness. I mean, it's never even, but it's just very classic with the upturned brim. It's really flattering on a lot of faces too.
Love it. Made me want to sing from Les Mis, even though I'm not singing. Les Mis. And I think I have a question for Suzanne, if no one else has anything they want to call out. All right. Well, then I'm going to ask Suzanne. I'm so fascinated by your stitching and the wire that you use. Is it cut or is it one piece? And if it's one piece, how long is the wire that you use to make one of your pieces?
So it's always different depending on the piece. So I know that on this size, this piece is 44 inches and this one takes 22 inches. So this whole necklace has about 22 feet in it. This pair of earrings. These are just a great 22 karat gold. And these have, with the two of them, 4 feet of 22 karat gold. And what did you ask me? What was the other part of that with the stitching?
It's one piece that you use for each section of your jewelry cut into smaller sections, but it sounds like it's one long piece, which is so impressive.
That's what I try to do. I have to be careful because it's cleaner if I can do it with just one piece, you know, on the back, and it just kind of looks prettier. But so when I'm moving this, if I move the silver too much or the gold, and that's why I stitch with 22 karat instead of 18 because 18 is more brittle. It'll make it more brittle, the wire. So I can't like keep pulling it or doing that to it because it'll make it more brittle. And then by the time I get there with the pliers and I'm really pulling it tight, it just won't, it'll snap. So it's kind of a whole thing of how I'm putting it through the holes and just being careful and pulling it tight. So I do try to do one piece.
Not breakable once it's made into the jewelry, correct?
No, it's not. It actually like strengthens it. So, I mean, this is much, this is really strong, you know, because of the tightness of it. So that's why it's finding, you know, the balance of it all.
There's
so
something
that
about your stitching that makes me feel emotionally secure, like pulled together also, which I love. There's another question in the chat for you about what inspired you to work with Stitch with Wire.
Oh gosh, I meant to talk about that tonight. I even had it like staring me in the face with my notes. So my grandmother used to come over every weekend and she was always knitting and sewing. So she taught me how to knit, how to sew, how to, you know, follow a pattern. And I loved it. And I fell in love with fabric and textiles and the flow and the quality of different textiles. And so through that and through it all, for some reason, I really held on to the broken stitch, and just it always followed me like into my work. I used to make books and I'd always have stitching in it. So that's really where the stitching came from, and it just always stayed with me. So that's where it came from.
Any other questions before we say have a wonderful Thursday night and thank you for coming? I think we're good then. And then I want to wish everyone a beautiful rest of your night, what's left of it. And thank you again for being here with all of us.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye-bye.